I think I can think of two big lessons that I was taught by my coach, and that was the first one was actually like I would say how to think like a business owner, and that was very consistent as a sort of just constantly driven in every discussion that we had is you need to take back and from what you think this is this costs this, this takes this long. It's what is the value, and then like focusing on it from like a client's perspective, like not like here's what I'm limited to. It's like what does my client need? What can I offer? Can I actually offer that? And then just it's the complete like for me it was a complete rewiring how a client potentially thinks about your business, and then how you need to think about your clients as a business. So that was a big point. And then another point that I think one of the biggest lessons for me was like understanding where you need to put your work when you may have limited resources or when you have limited understanding, but understanding what your next step is and not worrying about, oh, I need to get to this. It's just more so staying very consistent as a business owner. And that was one of the big things for me, is just how to actually like understand a priority list while staying kind of consistent with it. Those were like two, I guess maybe three big lessons that I learned from my coach Mario. I joined the lab seeking mentorship, and that's what I got. And that's something that even to this day now, being out of the program for over a year now, that I still have. I still have that mentor, Coach Marios, and I still talk. We still get together. And that was really just the biggest takeaway that I got out of the big labs. The first big accomplishment I would say actually having like a proper website. It doesn't sound like a lot, but putting resources into a website is a little bit like unknown. So that was a big thing just for me to actually have that put together near the end of my Gig Lab tenure. Was sort of just right when I was done the lab is sort of when we launched it. And then my second biggest accomplishment, or like another big accomplishment, I'm not going to rank them, I'm just going to list them, is getting my first big client. And then another big client was another big deal. Like it doesn't get old. And then like getting a big job from a client is a big deal. So it's like it's those constant little like they seem little at first, but they actually mean a lot because they're what's driving you as a person to keep working on your business and what's providing solutions for your customers. So it's like it's the ultimate. It just sounds weird, but getting that email or saying, yeah, here's the PO number, you're just like those are the accomplishments. Those are happening for me. And then I don't know. I think an accomplishment is still being this excited. It may sound a little bit cheeky, but it's just staying this excited and hopeful about the business is a good thing, I think. So what's next for my business would be, if we were to simplify it to just 3 steps, I'd say the first one is to stay consistent. I have like a minimum of 10 hours a week I have right now. That's sort of my goal, and I've been able to achieve that for like the last year. That's ever since I like missed the lab. It's been like constant, which is nice. Some weeks it's more, some weeks it's like right there. So that's a big thing I just need to keep working on. That's a big goal of mine, just stay consistent. And then the second goal would be to find a co-founder. I think I want to really branch out and find somebody else, maybe a team to help this business really grow. I think I'm limited to just the resources and understanding that I have, and I'd be really hopeful and willing to work with another individual to help actually serve the clients that I have better, because I can notice there's sort of weak points in my business already where I'm like, if I had a little more understanding or maybe more resources, maybe more time, or I could better dig up this job, we could offer a solution faster, better, cleaner, with a better integration. And then the third goal would probably be to rebrand. I think the business at this point is a little limited in maybe the scope that it has, but I think that'll come with a good co-founder. I read an interesting quote from a book by Jim Collins, Good to Great, and he said it's not about where you take the bus, it's about who you get on it. So it's an interesting thing. I think that right now I really want to find somebody or some people to work with this business idea, or some amalgamation of it, and then still be able to serve the clients that I think I've identified. What advice do I have for a new entrepreneur? I would, the classic, just try it is a good starting point. I'd say just have enough self-confidence to just be risky in your endeavor, but also recognize that, having just enough courage to ask questions and go out there and, see what something like the Giga Labs can give you. Like for me, it was everything at the time I could ever ask for.